Good evening and welcome to the second video of Cash Coffee and Economics. And promise Panamari, from this video we will do a few trades and have some fun with it. So a full disclosure, I already have a running portfolio. When I say running portfolio, some transferred some funds, played around a bit. Nick, as of today, I have about 40 open positions in options and I have about 14 different stock holdings. January month, was very bad. So a lot of the things are in red, but that's also a challenge, right? To see if you can take a portfolio that's red and kind of make it green. And as long as you don't sell it in red, you don't realize the loss. Otherwise, it's totally fine. So, you go open panna into position and then the first one was, as it comes up on your screen, it was Infosys January 1700 put option. Why I chose this? Very simple. Infosys has fallen 5%. This week they've fallen close to 10%. So they're currently at 1820. I hope in the next 9 days before January expires, they don't go below 1700. If they go below 1700, we'll again have to take holding of it. But for this, we got a credit of about 2,300 rupees or so. The second position, again, very similar. I took it in Mahindra Motors. They had dropped 2% today. They've been dropping a lot lately. So it was a January 2700 put option. Again, 1,750. I just wanted to take a couple of January positions just for making this video. We have about 8 days left, 8-9 trading days left in January. Hopefully in the next week, we'll take more of February positions where, the time left is more. Again, the two positions that I closed today, the Axis Bank, I sold an call option a week or so back for 1,200 and Axis Bank has been falling like every other stock. So I closed that call today. And I also closed the BPCL call. I had opened it up for 320. I think it's at 275 or 285 today. So just for making this video, I closed these two calls. I think it got an approximate profit of around 5,000 for today. That's a book profit. So by closing the positions, we booked a profit of 5K for today. It's a good Friday. 5K can buy you a bottle of scotch and some biryani as well. So I'm going to call it a good Friday. With this, let's move on to the topic of the day. Options today, is it risky? Is it gambling? It's a very deep and a very high level question to answer. It's like on a lighter note, is marriage risky? Is marriage gambling? If you ask married people, they'll tell you, yes, there is a lot of risk in getting married. There is a lot of gamble. Let's say, for example, by chance you're done, you're screwed forever, right? So just like that, options the most important thing is your underlying asset. Option it's very, very important. In our case, today we did options on Mahindra Motors and Infosys, two of the most stable companies. And India generally on the stock options, they let you do it only on stable companies. But in my past, I've done some options, very bad companies. Though my strategy was right, it really backfired because the underlying asset was bad. The strategy I came up with I thought was a good strategy. But if your underlying asset is really bad, then you're screwed forever, right? So that is definitely a risk. So any options panamode, first make sure that you're doing it on a stable underlying asset. Top of that, you can introduce any amount of risk that you want, You can do naked options, covered options, but if your underlying asset clear and risk, it's definitely a very risky position. So the next thing is there are about 20-25 different ways in which you can trade options. There is covered call, naked call, strategy, butterfly. There's like too many strategies, and usually what people do or even I do is I take a strategy, I kind of add salt and pepper and kind of make my own strategy out of it. That's what everybody does. Nobody goes by the textbook. A textbook blind up a strategy implement, but it usually backfires. So you kind of get a permutation and combination of many different strategies in your options. And when you do this, try to understand the strategy well. Try to understand what is the risk of the strategy. Risk, to put it in simple terms, is the number measure panna mudiyadhu, but in simple terms, how much can you lose, right? Putting a 1 lakh podring, do you lose 50,000? Do you lose 1 lakh? Or in some strategies, you could lose even 10 lakhs, right? So theoretically, it could even be infinity that you lose, right? So I also understand what risk you're taking and what are the odds. What is the odd of an event happening? So just in today's case, Infi, which was really doing well recently, fell 10% in a week. Would it really fall 10% in another week? Hopefully it does not. If it does, then we'll have to think of an exit strategy. But the odds of that happening is kind of less. Now, I wanted to mention, I also sold the Infi 2200 February call. Yeah, upper February call. At that time, I thought by February, it will not touch 2200. Again, it may touch 2200. It's just odds. So understanding your odds is very, very important. Understanding the risk is very, very important. Again, risk is what you could lose. Odds is the probability of it actually happening. So when you have a lower risk and better odds both in your hand, you kind of tend to make money in the long run, irrespective of what strategy you use. If the odds are against you, if the risk is high, you're bound to lose money. So whenever you do it, try to evaluate your strategy for these three things, and I think do a confident trade. We will talk more about these individual strategies in the future. But okay, going back to our question, is options risky? Is options gambling? But one thing is for sure, options is really fun. I've been doing options for 10-15 years, and it has given me so much excitement, which probably nothing has given me in recent times and so on. So you wake up on last Thursday of the month or the first Friday of the month to open positions is such a wonderful feeling. And again, going through the math, trying to understand the math and the probability odds and evaluate pandit, it's like kind of playing chess or poker. It's so kind of play it safe, but again, it's really fun. So if these things like solving puzzles and math and odds and probabilities excite you, options is definitely for you. A lot of people will tell you the best strategy is to buy a stock, hold it for 20 years, don't even open the account. It's actually a boring strategy. 20 years right? So, but if you do options, every day is exciting. Just to coffee kudikkira gapla, you can open your account, red இருக்கும், green இருக்கும், it gives you a rush, right? Whenever you're bored at office, take a break, go for a walk, and go through your portfolio. Gives you such a wonderful feeling. Again, options are really fun and a great way to entertain, great way to make money. And let's talk more about it in the next video. I'll probably go over some of these safer strategies that I've used. At least I think it's safer, and what has worked for me in the long run, what has backfired for me in the long run. See you in the next video.